Tasty, tasty.
Hey folks, I'm back on stream again. I have a lot of keyboard chores to do, and I figured I may as well just share them with you today. So that's what we're doing. So the tubs. What we're doing today is basically I'm going to be putting all of the stuff that isn't in a tub in a tub. I ordered some more tubs recently. The original supplier for them kind of went bankrupt. I used to use a company called Zorro to order them, and they've been taken over by a company called Cromwell's. So I finally managed to get Cromwell's to stock the same product, and we have it here, which is basically the white tub, the clear tubs that you see behind me. So I actually have a few that I can send to at least Joshua, because he asked me to restock them so he could buy some off me. So we'll see how that goes. Right, let's catch up with chat. Godzilla Waddle, thank you very much for the sub. You are an SPC member. That is the rocket ship launching for 18 months in a row. Congratulations. Karcher, it did do it for you, but it was just before I turned the stream on. So thank you again for the subs. 54 months is crazy. Stores is here as well. Rob Brum says, the stream alert reminded me I need to go order some more hot chocolate. Yeah. Yeah, go. Where's Jay's Roastery? Why is it not coming up?
Tasty.
Oh, there we go. Elbafest spelled it right. Yeah, go buy some hot chocolate. It's here. Hot Romance chocolate. It's excellent. Go buy some coffee. I need to figure out what our last shipping day is going to be for the coffee. Actually, I know what it is for the keyboard stuff, but I need to figure out what last shipping day of the year is going to be for the coffee. So go and do the buying. Do the buying stuff. Calgary, I don't know if you saw, but that popped for you in the background. Yeah, buy some coffee and get it in time for Christmas, and you can enjoy the Christmas stuff. Yeah, Calgary subscribed with Pog. He did set the light on. Is there a way I can replay the ones I've missed? Like, I wonder if in Stream Elements, like if I missed it, or like if it's off the screen when it happens, I wonder if I can like replay the activities. Let me try. I think I can. Do the thing, click the button, send the money. Yeah, dude, I need a t-shirt with that one still. That's still such a good catchphrase. Interesting. Okay, so the replay doesn't seem to trigger it. I wonder why. So I did replay the event, but it didn't trigger it. I wonder why. That is not what I wanted. I wonder if there is a way I can re-trigger it in this app. If I do that, hey, there we go. That is Karcher's one. I can re-trigger them. There you go, Karcher. Congratulations. And I need to redo Calgary's one as well to get the light. Maybe I need to change the amount of time the light's on, because 10 seconds doesn't seem like a long enough time. There you go. That's Calgary's. Your light is lit. Maybe I need to change the time on it to maybe 20 seconds instead. Let me see if I can do that. Okay, that should now be set to 20 seconds. Let me see. Okay, Calgary, you're going to get another go around here. There we go. That's going to stay on a little bit longer. There we go. Such a good light. It's ace. I love it. Caffeinate, thank you. I do have coffee. Okay, I think that one might be a little bit too long. Okay, maybe I need to set it to be somewhere in the middle. Okay. Let's see if that. Who am I going to replay this time? Godzilla Waddle. I'm going to replay yours this time. Not that you guys can probably tell whose I'm replaying, but I am going to replay Godzilla Waddles. Because I've replayed Cartridge and Cargeries a few times. There you go. Right, okay, so that should be on for 15 seconds. Right, let's catch up with chat, yeah. Godzilla Waddles here, good afternoon. Superhand says, thank you for starting the stream to discuss the status of DMK Chocolate Donuts, the other elusive type. Dude, don't even. Just don't, please, man. Like, some of our suppliers are not the greatest people in the world. They're fine people, sorry. They're not the greatest companies in the world. And sometimes it's hard. If you want to refund Superhands, just message me, I'll refund it. It's easier. And that's fine. If I'll understand, don't worry. And then you can rebuy it at more money when it's in stock eventually in like 2 years' time. Look how grey my patch is getting now. Like, really noticing on stream today. Right. Frankie's here as well. Oh, you can see when I've redone them. Okay, cool. Yeah. Fugumi, hey man, good to see you. I thought I would need to wait until Sunday. No. Been holding off because I wanted to see Jay's rocket. Fair enough. Fair enough. Such a good light, yeah. How much does a light like that cost? It wasn't that expensive. It's just a sheet of acrylic with some LEDs and then some tape over it. It's the same company that did this one. I think it was something like 200 quid, and I just thought it was really good for you guys. And I actually used the stream money to do it, so like the sub money and stuff like that paid for it, just because I thought it was fun. Usually that money pays for Mel and Sharon and I to go out for lunches and to buy like coffee and snacks and drinks here at the workshop. But because there's so much got left after the open day, like when we did the SPC party in the evening, there's so many cans of like Fanta and Sprite and Dr. Pepper and whatever else. And then we ordered so much coffee we haven't had to like because I still have to buy my own coffee, if that makes sense, because even though I own the company, so there is a cost to it. So because we had like a huge stock of coffee and oat milks and everything else, there was like a little bit of money left over in the kitty, and I thought, just buy that light, just do it, just buy that light, get it done, and then it's cool, and it's up on the wall. What a treat. Yeah. Can it play their name in Morse code? I would need significantly more coding than I am comfortable with doing for that, I think, Mr. Klein. Like, I'm sure it's possible. In fact, I know it's possible. I would need to create something that would translate the message into Morse code, and then something that would translate the Morse code into light situations for varying times. So you'd have like a flash would be a dot, and then on for a second would be or half a second or something would be a dash or something. It's doable, but it would be a lot. Can you add a Twitch command to turn it on or off? I could, but I'm purposefully choosing not to Chaos23 because it is literally the logo for our Twitch subs. They designed their own logo a few years ago. It's their logo, so Twitch subs get it to light up when they sub. That's literally the point of it. That's the whole reason I had it. So whilst I could add a Twitch command to get it to turn on and off, I'm not going to, because it's for the subs. Like, it's literally their light and they get to choose how it's controlled. So whenever they ping that they've refreshed their sub, then it will light up. I will build it in for the Ko-fi stuff as well at some point, so yeah. Just trying to turn it into a meme. No need for a refund, my friend. Yeah, I know you are. I know. But I have to like do the public relations thing, right? Feels like it'd be super flashy and annoying, but I could write that code. I think it's absolutely possible. I think it would be really annoying, especially for me, because like it's in my peripheral vision when it turns on. So yeah. I think just being on, I think the length of time it's on is the big one, because like at the minute it's on, it was on for 10 seconds, but I don't think that was long enough. I tried 20 seconds and that felt too long, so I've got it at 15 seconds now. We'll see how that goes. Make it do a lift off. So unfortunately the LEDs are not controllable by section. It's all just because like you have the red section, you have the yellow section, you have the pink section. It's not like I can like change the flames. It's all on, it's a really cheap sign. It's all on one loop. There's only one connection. If I'd paid for the more expensive one, which would have been about triple the price, I would have had 3 loops and be able to control them individually. So I could have had the pink rocket on and then the orange and red parts flashing at different intervals to make it look like it was launching. I did not do that because I'm a cheapskate and I went with the cheapest option. So yeah, so the subs now have that choice to light that up. They can light up their own rocket ship whenever they want. I even measured the angle, so the camera's slightly tilted away, so it doesn't look like. But when it's flush on, it is the same angle as the Discord emote, just about like to within like 5 degrees. Okay, right. I wonder if I can have it do some things for other things. I wonder if there's anything else I can do it for, like. Okay, I've got a good one. I can turn it on when. So I can turn it on when the adverts end. So if the ads run. Okay, so that shouldn't, like, so I've added a little bit to this where now when the ads run, and then when the ads stop, the light will turn on to celebrate the ads being, celebrate the ads finishing. So that's another one we can do. Okay, I think that's good enough. Yeah. Okay. Okay. There's some other cool things I can do. But there we go.
Tasty.
Eliran, thank you so much for the subscription. You have set the rocket ship ablaze. So there you go. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So Lumia Stream that you'll see in chat. That's the bot that's following the activities in chat that then tells the light when to turn on or off. So yeah. So it's there and it's working and it's doing its thing and it will light up whenever you subscribe. So there you go. Okay. Right. Let's get rid of that. I don't need that. I don't need that. I've got loads of things open now that I just don't need. Okay. Oh man, a million emails. Right. Okay. Asking to subscribe at tier 1, they've subscribed for 41 months, currently on a 41 month stream. Just typing in chat doesn't do it, dude, I'm afraid. Like, you have to actually do the sub thing. You have to hit the sub button for it to work. So the Twitch API has like a load of these activities that happen, or events, probably a better word. And you can, there's a software called Lumia, which is what this is connected up to, that you can use to track those events and then have certain actions taken. Now, what it actually does, it doesn't actually turn on the light. What it actually does is it actually turns on the smart plug that's plugged in, because the light isn't a smart light at all. It's just a really cheap one, just plugs into the wall and it's supposed to be turned on. But it's got one of these Tapo plugs, which is like a smart plug. And what the software then does is it can link to the Tapo plugs and then control those. So that's how it works, with some little bits of personal coding in between. So yeah, gifted subs should work. I haven't tried it. I won't know if gifted subs work until someone tries that, but it should work. Like, my understanding is that it would work. Hold on. If someone's thinking about doing it, don't. Let me check. Let me just check. Oh no. Oh, it did work. It does work. Okay. Whew. I was like, oh no, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. It did work. It did work. I don't know if it's going to work for everything. Like, it might just work once though, the way I've set it up. But it did work. Yeah, I don't know why it wouldn't be 10 seconds per sub. But thank you, Jellymaster, for the 5 tier 1 gift subs. Thank you for that. Let me actually, do you know what? If I just change that to that, I think it will now. Let me replay that.
Tasty,
hey, Dimitex, 45 months, 5 babies. 5 babies. Okay, the bot keeps coming in to keep refreshing the link. So I'll wait for Demotexis to go off. There we go. Right, if I replay.
Tasty.
And Kevy Babe subscribed. Thank you very much, Kevy Babe, for 30 months of subs. Everyone's subscribing now because they want the light to come on. It's smart, right? It's smart. I once this goes off in a few seconds, I'm gonna rerun jellies and see if now it will do 10 seconds or 15 seconds per one. Let's test this. If I replay that, is it just going to count it as 1 or is it going to count it as 5? Okay. Okay, just does once. It just does it once. Okay, so it does it once because it only sees one activity for the gift subs. What I can probably do is if someone gifts subs, I'll have it set to stay on for a minute. Or, no, a minute's too long. 30 seconds. I'll have it set to stay on for 30 seconds. So you get a really long time for... Oh, 60 seconds is the longest I can do it for here without some additional coding. There we go. I'd have to do some. So I'd have to add some of my own code for that, Jelly. That's actually not a bad idea. I could probably make it blink for the number of subs. Yeah, I'll have a look at that. Like that will need a little bit of coding, which will need some offline testing. But yeah, it's all working now. It's fine. It's fine. So yeah. The task is to make that sign on and prevent Jay from configuring. If you all subscribe enough, then yes, I won't be able to configure it because it'll just stay on and I won't know what it's doing. Let's test in prod. There is only prod. There is only prod. There is no test environment here. I'm just going to keep my shoes off. It's getting a little bit warm in here now as well. My phone is like, everyone waits until I'm streaming. Someone's left me a voicemail saying I need to check my WhatsApp messages and I don't have a WhatsApp message, but I have 7 missed phone calls off of them. Yeah, look. Okay. Dodgy stuff. Prod is the UAT environment. Yeah, it's certainly the FOV environment, first occurrence validation. User acceptance is... I think it depends on how you structure it. User acceptance can be in prod, but it depends on how large scale your change is and what sort of environment you're using. I don't like using production as the user acceptance test, but I understand why a lot of companies will do that. I would rather never do that. Right, anyway, it's just, yeah. I haven't thought about user acceptance testing, first occurrence validation, and all of that kind of stuff for a long time. You're making me think about it now. Absolutely nothing and everything all at the same time. Yeah. What could go wrong? Everything could go wrong. I've seen some really big fuck-ups in the past. I've seen some people get incredibly lucky though as well. It's surprising. So the reason it's common to do user acceptance testing in prod is because most people don't have a test environment that truly mimics production. Or they're like PT and we don't really have test environments. We do all of our testing in a single back end and then we decide which ones we're going to push live and then we check it works in live. So because we just don't have the resources or the manpower to do it. So user acceptance testing in prod can be acceptable depending on the company's risk appetite. If you have a higher risk appetite because you have less resources, fine, I get it, I understand it. If you have a lower risk appetite or you have higher number of resources available to you to create a reflective user acceptance test environment, you should be doing that. So it just depends. Right, so all we're doing today anyway I wasn't even going to show you the website because I was reading this. I don't know if you guys have seen this. The key gem stuff. Fair play to Elise for posting this. I think it's really, really hard. If you don't know if you've read this, if you haven't, there's links all around about it. People talking about it. I'm worried for them. I think they are on the brink, and I'm really glad they've done this because it's really open of them, and it's really honest, and it's hard, like to publicly step out there and say we're struggling. That's a really, really difficult thing to do. So hats off to them. I hope they manage to recoup and to keep going, but I'm worried for them. I hope they're okay. So yeah, I don't know if you guys have seen that, but big sales on the site recently reminded me of my keep. Yeah, I mean the thing is, Frankie, it's difficult. So you're sat there, right? Like, put yourselves in their shoes, right? You're sat there as a store, and sales are dwindling, but you've got a ton of stock, and stock to a business owner is dead capital. It's money that's tied up in products sat on a shelf, and you have to pay for those shelves, whether that's through warehousing, staff, whatever else. That you have to pay for that product to be there. Just the cost of a warehouse isn't cheap, and then you've got staff packing and everything else. So they've got rid of staff. They've got stock sat on the shelves. They need cash flow to keep them going. Sales kind of become the only option because you have to try and make money to keep going. It's not that they don't have the money, they do. It's just sat there on the shelf, and it's not tangible. It's not liquid cash. It's an asset that's sat there, and what they're doing right now is trying to trade their assets for cash flow, and that's a really difficult balance to make. And it's the reason why companies like Mex & Co went under. So Mex & Co did it slightly different. They had all of this capital tied up in product that they hadn't received yet. So rather than it being stock on shelves, it was product that they were owed from manufacturers like GMK, for example, because the timelines went on. So they couldn't sell that or put a sale on that to liquidate it, to create the cash, because it was still sat at GMK because it hadn't been made yet. So, it's the same issue, but they're in a slightly better position at Keygen because the stuff's sat on the shelf. It's tough. It's really tough out there right now. And I think any vendor that has warehousing, that has staff, that isn't just some guy doing it in his spare bedroom, is going to struggle because it's really hard. It's really tough. And there isn't enough people spending money in the hobby to keep the number of businesses that are in the hobby alive. There is going to be a lot more businesses go under, and I pray it's not us. I genuinely pray it's not us. But businesses can only keep going as long as people keep buying, right? People say, oh, you've done a group buy, therefore you have to deliver that group buy. It's like, well, yeah, but that's going to be in 18 months. And now my challenge isn't paying for that group buy. It's keeping the business running for 18 months until that product gets to us so I can then ship it. That becomes your challenge then. Who could do this out of the bedroom? So I say bedroom, but there's a lot of small vendors use Chopstick who work from home. They have their stock in a spare room at home, whether that's a bedroom or a garage or whatever. There is a lot of vendors who are a lot smaller scale than they appear to be from their storefronts, who don't have warehousing, who don't have corporate spaces, who don't have offices, who don't have staff, and they just do it themselves in a spare bedroom or a garage or their dining room or wherever in their home. There are a lot of small vendors that do that. ZBC, thank you so much for the sub, dude. I really appreciate it. Yeah, like most of the businesses in the hobby do like less than 100 grand a year in revenue. I don't know for definite, but I think there's only one other UK vendor that's got workshopping space alongside us, to my knowledge. And not that I really delve into that kind of information particularly, but that's one thing. Oblotsky works from home. He doesn't have a warehousing space. He does all of his from home. It's like a spare series of spare rooms in the house that just aren't used for anything else, as far as I understand it. PT, like there is a chance that the house that me and my wife are hoping to buy, which is actually the same value as the house we currently have, but in a different area. So we're basically just trading almost. That has a barn in it, and the plan is at some point in the future, maybe in the next 18 months to 2 years, for me to move PT from the current workshop into that barn, just to save the £60,000 a year in rent that I have to pay, because that's a lot of money. Yeah, like we have to do, just in sales alone, just in revenue, we have to do 60 grand a year just to cover rent. We have to do another 12 grand a year to cover business rates. That's not taxes, that's just business rates. That's the basically council tax or corporation tax for having a business in the area, which doesn't actually give us anything, I don't think. And then we have around 45 grand a year in insurances. And that insurance is for product liability, staff liability insurance, all of those kind of things, in case someone hurts themselves with something they buy from us, or someone hurts themselves on site, or things like that. Just to do the open day here at PT last month, the extra cost was about 1,600 quid just on the insurance alone. And that was me negotiating it down. Originally it was supposed to be closer to £8,000, so we managed to get that down based on a few factors: number of people, how we were structuring it, how open the place was going to be, the fact that no tools would be turned on, things like that, how many staff we would have on. So realistically, we've got to have over somewhere in the region of 150 grand a year in revenue before we do anything else, just to keep the company lights on. And then we've got to have all of the revenue to pay for the products that you guys buy. And then I have to pay for staff and pensions and everything else that goes along with that. So there's all sorts of stuff there. There's PAYE taxes to the government as well that we have to pay for. Then there's accountants that we have to pay for, and they want 1% of your annual revenue. Then there's Shopify fees, which is about 3% of revenue. And then there's payment processing fees, which are about 2% of revenue. So, realistically, if you turn over £1.5 million quid a year, which is I think what we'll probably do this year, somewhere between 1.5 and 2 million quid this year is what we'll do. It sounds like a huge number, but when you realize that of that 1.5 million, £250,000 will be spent on just keeping the company going, and then the other £1.25 million will be spent on actual cost of producing the product, and then we'll break even. It's kind of like really tight margins. No one's making money in this hobby, like making bank. People are basically scraping back. I don't know what the average salary in the UK is now. I imagine it's somewhere around 45 grand. I reckon most keyboard vendors are earning way less than that, like even though they do it full time. And I earn nothing and I do it full time. So, it's difficult out there right now. So to loop it all back around, I hope Keygen can keep going. I'm worried for them. They're right in what they say, that the market has declined. It has declined massively. They've reduced the staff. They've reduced their own salaries to the bare minimum. Only investing in what's absolutely necessary. Doing our best to continue offering good deals and value. They're doing the right thing. Selling off stock is the only option they've got. They've got 3 options, right? They can either just roll over and let it happen. Let it happen and go bankrupt. They can take out a bank loan and then try and pay back that loan, but then that's an extra cost each month, but the cash liquidity might keep them going for a little bit. Or they can do sales and try and get rid of stock and exchange stock for cash flow. Those are the options they've got. There's not much else they can do. And the more people that do chargebacks or cancel orders and everything else, that's hurting their cash flow even more. Because the other thing as well is, like, depending on how you set up with Shopify, you might not get payouts from, like, if you guys order from me right now and I ship that this afternoon and you get that on Saturday or Monday, I don't get paid from Shopify for that until January. Okay? Like, I get paid at the end of January for all of December sales. I get paid at the end of February for all of January sales. I get paid up to 8 weeks behind. So sales on the 1st of December, I don't get until the end of January. Right? Sales on the end of December, I get at the end of January. So they're much shorter. So yeah. The stock that's left won't move anytime soon if they can't sell at 33% off. Yeah, but they're making a loss on that. So what else can they do, Frankie? What else? They're trapped in a hard place. It's not selling at 33% off. 33% is significantly more than the margin. They probably only had a 10% margin, so they're already losing 22%, 23% by selling it to you at that price. What do? Some money is better than no money. I get that, but effectively, this is just a loss that they're pushing down the road, and they're trying to stay liquid long enough to have that loss on next year's balance sheet, right? That's what they're trying to do. When you sell stuff on a sale at less than the cost price, which is illegal in some countries, it is actually illegal to do that in some European Union countries. You can only put it on sale at cost. You can't put it on sale lower than cost. When you start to get to that point, but it's still a lost Emotex. That's the point. I get that it's more than zero, and some money is better than no money, but it's still a loss. If they've paid €100 for it and they're selling it 33 euros off, so they're selling it at 67 euros, but they've probably paid 75 euros for it and had a 25 euro margin on it. Okay, so they're still losing 5 to 10 euros off every single one that they sell, plus the cost they've had to store it for 3 years, 5 years, whatever. It's difficult. It really is difficult, and it then comes down to you have to write that loss on your balance sheet at some point. So you have to say, right, we finally sold this, but we sold it at a loss. It was lower than the cost price. Where do we draw the line on how much loss we're going to take? Because you'll have to write that loss off of your profit at some point, if you're even making profit. And to write losses off of a loss-making year is even harder. That's what we had to do last year, to just reset the books. Yeah. It's a short-term cash flow fix. That's what it is. And dead stock is the killer of companies. It really, really is. I know people push for everything to be in stock, but the way that MOQs work in this hobby, you can't have everything in stock. You just can't, because if we still, like, we have a lot of stock here. We probably have more stock than most of the vendors, and we generally, if you added it all up, it's usually in the region of around £1 million worth of stock. If I came in one morning and Mel said everything in stock is sold out, we're going to be here until Friday packing orders 24/7, that would be a great problem to have, because, well, we've got all of the revenue back and we can invest it in new products. But the community would see that as a negative, because they're like, well, you have nothing in stock, Jane, and you have nothing to offer the community because you have nothing in stock. So there's a real fine line to try and balance between stock staying at a good level and selling out fast enough. You have like a bell curve distribution where it's in stock, it's got to stay in stock for a little bit, and then you can sell out of it. And you have to do that with multiple projects at multiple times and try and keep that stock level kind of going to keep people's interest and to keep people seeing you as valuable. And balance with the fact that it has to eventually sell out to keep stock flow. Now, sometimes we hit that with projects, other times projects sell out too fast, other times projects don't sell out. And the more projects you have that don't sell out, that's just dead capital that you've lost. You have to be aware of that. You have to be tracking what that number is and what that number's doing. You have to understand it. We rate all of our stock A through F, so it has a rating. A is where we know it's going to sell out quick. B is where we know it's going to sell out quick, but not so fast. And F is where it's been in stock for fucking years and we'll never sell it. And you then have to start to think about, well, D, E, and F. How much of those do we want to write off? How much do we want to make? How much can we afford to lose by selling it at a loss to then keep going? It's really difficult to manage. And people think, oh, it sounds easy, Jay. You just buy the stock and you put it on the shelf and people buy it. There is constantly battles waged between stock levels, revenue levels, cash flow levels, investment levels. It's a minefield. There also sort of a fine line between group buys, short-term pre-orders, and in stock, and what works best long-term. So it depends, Zed. It depends. So group buys and pre-orders are really helpful for two reasons. Okay, the first one is sustainability. We're only producing what we sell effectively, and maybe a few for extras, but they are a barometer of demand. Interest checks are not a barometer of demand. Interest checks are a barometer of how popular a designer is, which is fine and can help, but it's not always the most useful data. Group buys are a barometer of how popular a product is at that moment in time, but styles change over time, and That's not necessarily going to be a good barometer of how it's going to sell in stock, but you can kind of use that as a kind of like guessing idea. So depending on like if something does really, really well in group buy, we will buy more of it in stock for later on. If something does really poorly in group buy, we will buy less of it in stock for later on, as a broad rule of thumb. But broadly, we're only buying what we need to buy to produce it for the group buy effectively, okay? Which means one, it's really sustainable because we're not making product that's going to end up in landfill or put the company in harm's way in the future with stock that we can't sell, right? Okay, so that's sustainable. The second thing is it's really good from a cash flow perspective because it means we have the capital up front, we can then pay the manufacturer. We don't have to go get bank loans to raise capital or use companies' funds to raise capital because it's already there. So those are the two main reasons why group buys and to a lesser extent pre-orders are really, really useful in the hobby, because this hobby still isn't at the point where group buys aren't needed. It's just not. It's getting close, but it's drifting further away from it now because the market's declining. Pre-orders are a little bit different because pre-orders work on the fact that we've already paid the manufacturer for it. So we've already taken the risk and then we're selling it to you whilst it's in production. So they are not quite sustainable because it's selling of extras basically before we've got them, which is why we don't tend to do it on keyboards because we want to do QC first, but keycaps, easy to sell on pre-order. The only way we do it on a pre-order for a keyboard is if it's something like the Oblique where we're not doing a group buy and we're only doing it on a pre-order and we've already bought a set number of units, or the same with the QK products. We buy production slots and then we fulfill those production slots, okay? That's nice and simple. In stock is great for constant cash flow, but as I said before, you have this real disconnect that the community don't see, that if you sell something in a group buy in January and it's going to ship out in December, you've got to then stay liquid and stay in production and stay alive as a company for those 12 months. So you're still there to ship out the product in 12 months time. And you are not going to make enough profit on the group buy. In fact, you're not going to make any profit on the group buy until you sell the in-stock extras, because the cost of the group buy sets plus designer royalties, plus extras, plus shipping, plus processing, plus Shopify fees and everything else, that number is greater than the revenue you get from just the group buy sales. So you don't make a profit on that until the end of the year when it finally ships in this scenario. And then you have to stay alive for all of that time. So what the in-stock stuff is good for is good for cash flow, because people are buying stuff off the shelves, you're shipping it every day, it's keeping going. That's the cash flow that keeps the company alive. It pays for your rent, it pays for your business rates, it pays for your taxes, it pays for your staff, it pays for your heating, water, electricity, whatever else you need, insurances, it kind of covers for all of that. And then the group buy, once it does ship, the profit from that you will then take as a number and invest it into another project or a series of projects, depending on how big the number is. So I think the best way to do it is how we do it, a balance across in-stock and group buys and pre-orders. If you go all for the in-stock methodology, you better be fucking sure that you are 100% certain that the products you are going to stock is going to sell, because if you don't, it's gone. Like a couple of mistakes that I've made recently, Pelican, shouldn't have stocked it. We've sold maybe 3 or 4 base kits. I had to buy, I think it was 100 base kits, MOQ. Shouldn't have stocked it. The Memphis 98, the Windows 98 theme set, shouldn't have bought it for in stock. I absolutely should not have bought it, because I think we've sold again less than 10 and I had to buy 100. So we've got tons of base kits sat on the shelf out there that don't sell. So at some point they're going to end up being on sale and I'm going to make a loss on them. So, but then again, we have other projects where we put like Flare. It didn't do particularly well in group buy for us. It did okay around the world, but in the UK it didn't sell huge numbers. So we didn't buy a huge number of extras, and then it sold out overnight. And it's like, well, I should have bought 10 times the extras for that. So it's really difficult to kind of like figure those out. This is what massive companies rely on, making sure they can keep running, especially if they don't have warehousing. Yeah, forecasting is huge in every other industry, but forecasting is only as good as the data you can get hold of, and it's not always reliable, and especially in a niche industry like this. Eisenheim, how's it going? For the first time, I just opened Twitch and see you live without notifications telling me. Hey man, welcome to the stream. It's easy. You look into the Office Magic Ball, which tells you the future. Sure. Maybe. To help with GMK Alpine in kits, would an R2 be a viable option? I'd love to. Like, Alpine is an underrated set. It's a lovely set. I actually want it for this matrix board here. So I actually want it for this board here. I think Alpine would look really nice on this. just that kind of like have like the light set to like a nice purplish glow. The issue with Alpine is that, well, there is no issue. Yeah, I'd love to see a round 2 of it. I don't think it'd make MOQ though. I don't think it'd make MOQ, Slim. But Slim, if you could get the rights to run it or get the designers to redo it, I'd 100% be down for it. Yeah. Hey Reed. Good afternoon, good sir. Is this the Matrix news? It is, Eisenheim. There is a couple of units left in stock. The best colour is still in stock, which is the eggplant purple. We have one of those in eggplant purple left, and I think we've got a couple in other colours as well. But yeah, they are in stock. In fact, let's have a look. Let's have a look. In stock keyboards should be here. Oh, we've got a dark indigo and a mangosteen purple. Yeah. The purple is the best color. That photo doesn't do it justice. Let me see if I can find a better photo of the purple. I wish we'd have had a pink one. I really wanted this soft pink one here. Unfortunately, we didn't have any extras of those, so I couldn't get one, and I couldn't afford to buy it at the time. It was in group buy, so mine is the meteorite grey. Oh, I don't have a better picture, but the mangosteen purple is the best color. The eggplant purple is really good. But if anyone wants to trade a pink one for a meteorite grey one, let me know, because I would absolutely do that, because I love the pink, and I wish I'd bought an extra of it and I didn't. I think Flare is a keycap set where you need to see some pictures of different keyboards. Fair. Yeah, I think that's true. Mictlan int kits seem a bit in demand now R2 came, but it was popular R1. I do wonder how R2 did compared. Overall, R2 sold less for us than R1 did for Mictlan. Even when you combined the CYL and the MT New. I don't know about the worldwide numbers. So I'm not 100% sure. Jay, will you have any extras for the Polycarb MM Class 65? I don't think so. We will have some extras of the Class 65, but not many. Again, I think we only sold like 5 or 10 keyboards in the group buy, so we maybe have 5 or 10 in extras. It won't be a huge number. Packing up my Norda side of my Norda UK kit up doesn't have to go to waste. Nice. Yeah. I wish we could do more with Norda UK kits. I know we can with like Creative and Kikobo and Signature Plastics. GMK is the last one that I need to hammer down on it, and hopefully we'll get there at some point soon. Hopefully, we'll see. Don't worry, all those that know that I'm on there. This is Pepsi Max. It's sugar-free. It's 0 calorie. All those know I'm not on the sugary drinks. It's not sugary, but my biscuits are, and I'm going to have some biscuits before we start. I'm allowed 2 of these, which is devastating because I'm calorie counting like you wouldn't believe it in a minute. I'm allowed 2, so I'm going to have these. If you haven't tried these are my favourite biscuit or cookie, I guess Americans are called. It's basically crushed up figs. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to swear. Crushed up figs in like a biscuit covering. Just divine. Could a repack with Oblo work? So, order Norda UK kits, and I just strip out the UK keys. The issue with that will be how we charged it. Like if you said, okay, there's 45 keys in a Norda UK kit, Jay needs 10 from each one, therefore it's the cost divided by number of keys times the number of keys used. Fig Newtons, yeah. Maybe it would work, but it means repacking stuff, and that's not easy or cheap. And GMK wouldn't be happy with it now. They wouldn't. They want us to buy the Norda UK kits, so. And it would reduce the number of Norda UK kits sold, because it would just be mine and Blotsky's numbers combined, and we wouldn't sell as many. Jelly, if you want an international kit for Noel R2, like I would be happy to do a UK ISO kit for it, but we would have to be guaranteed to sell 150 UK ISO kits. I don't think we're going to sell 150 of Noel R2 in the UK. I think it's going to maybe do 500 worldwide, which is going to mean, you know, at best 50 in the UK. Maybe. Let me have a look in. I'm not sure if I'm in the chat or if Sharon is. I think Sharon must be in the chat. I'll message Sharon after the stream and ask her to ask the question whether we can do one or not. At least one keycap is shared between Nordic and UK. What keycap's shared between Nordic and UK v Rugdash? What keycap is the common keycap that's shared across there? I can't ration out treats like that. An open pack of Oreos is emptying in 30 minutes with a half a carton of milk on. Yeah, I have to be good. Like I've had two. That's all I'm gonna have. It's figs inside, Eamon, not dates, but it's figs inside. But yeah. Do you have the numbers for the IC of Noel R2? Yeah, but I can't share. It's not my numbers to share, ZBC. I was able to sell an R1 kit this year for quite above MSRP price. Yeah, I mean, people could do that with Darling, and then Darling in Group Buy didn't do particularly well. So, you know. I'm just sad they took out the UK ISO keys from R1 to R2. Yeah. Oh, the Black Friday deals thing, Rob Brum needs to be taken down. I didn't realize that was still going on there. Let me, because Black Friday's long gone. It was a week ago. Let me take that link down. Where did we have it? Sorry, that's me not updating the... Okay, let me just test that. There you go. Fixed. Thank you for pointing that out, Rob. I apologise. That was from last week. It may only be true for DCS where they don't have tertiary legends. For GMK, it might be fine unless you also want Alt GR. So Alt 2 could be used in Icelandic. Maybe. Okay. So, UK ISO is the 2 with the apostrophe on, the 3 with the GBP currency symbol on row 1. Then on row 3, it's the @ comma and the hash tilde, and then on row 4 it's the short 1.25U shift, which should be in base anyway for ISO coverage, and then it's the it's R4 pipe \. I don't think that they're used in any Nordic languages. Maybe the 2 apostrophe is used in, sorry, the 2 quotation is used in Icelandic as Zora says, but I'm not sure on that. Plus 84 looks really good. We were getting a prototype to look at. I'm not sure if I'm getting a prototype or not. If I do, I will share it on stream. Yeah, I don't think that we share much. What's the 2 quotation shared with VRugdash? What's it shared with? Because the ANSI is the 2 @, and I think most European languages have 2 @ there, right? Yeah. But if I can get a plus 84, we will have it. Toasty Babs. I'm not sure if I will get it or not. Oh my god, my DMs have gone nuts. I've got 26 DMs from Mr. Collane. Oh, it's a group chat. I'll have to read that later on. Do we want MT New, Divina Papaya, or just CYL? Oof. I'd like both, but... Have you got kitting yet for this menu? Have you decided on the kitting yet for it? Can you send me the image of the kitting and we'll do a live interest check. We'll do a live poll. Let me set up a poll. Chat, help us out here. New poll. Let me set up a poll. Okay, poll is now live. The windbreaker kit was really good, Zizora. The windbreaking kitting was absolutely really good. It was really, really good. Oh, rigging is enabled, but okay. The poll is live. Are you sending me the image? Oh, you sent it to me. Right. Okay. Let me share this with you guys, and we'll have a look at the kitting live. Okay. So here is the kitting proposed for Davina Papaya. Can I zoom in more? Yeah. Okay. I assume that this is going to be another key here. The blue the blue little drawing for the backtick and tilde. Okay, so standard TKL full size. Okay, that's fine. I think that's an F13 here. Okay, 40s compatibility down here. Look, yeah. So we've got 40s kitting. Yeah, Zizora, tell me what was wrong with the windbreaker key. Please do tell me. Spacebars, split spacebars. Yep. Interesting. Is this a blank here, Manu? Is that going to be convex or concave? If that's a convex as it curved, then great. So DCS already has something very similar to this. So I don't think this will be in DCS, but maybe in the future. I mean, I love it. I love pastel colors. I think this looks great. The only thing I want in this menu that's not there right now is UK ISO, right? And if this runs in GMK, I will pay for a UK ISO kit for it. And then just pray that you lot buy the ISO kit. Alt GR will be there. Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think the legends are going to be difficult to read just because of the way the render's being done. And even if I zoom in a little bit more, it's just going to get really blurry. It's going to be a little bit better in real life. Remember, this is just a render, so. You got the quote today. Let's do a quote for a UK ISO kit just for the CYL. I think interesting that people are saying MT new only. You know, in the poll, more people want MT new only and don't want CYL or both. Yeah, I don't mean to put it in base kit, but I just like let's get a quote for a kit and see if they'll I'll have a chat with Mario and see if he'll do like a really low MOQ for a UK ISO kit. Okay, I mean, this is going to be a must-buy for me. The only single thing that I can see that I would personally change... I'm worried I'll buy both if offered. Yeah, I mean, that is the thing. The only thing that I would change in this entire thing is here. I would have stepped control. But that's only because I like the look of a stepped control. I would step that keycap. That's the only thing I think I would change. It'll be tagged in our Discord, Doozy Deuce, once it goes live. I think it's going to be live later this month. So yeah, just follow our Discord and you'll see it. That's the only thing I'll change is stepped control. And that's a very personal thing for me. That's not like something that the vast majority of the community will want. Hot take time. I don't think that's particularly a hot take. So yeah, so this is stepped caps lock here. So you would have this key, but with control written here instead of the arrow. Okay, so you basically have two of this key. And then if people want a full-size key, they can use a full-size one. That's the only thing I would change. Apart from the UK ISO, that's the only thing I would change. I can't see anything else that's missing or needed. There's plenty of 40 support. There's plenty of page up, page down options for 65%. The numpad's nice and large. You know, it's got all of the options there. It's pretty solid kitting. It's really solid kitting. Really solid. Okay. Yeah, well done, Manny. That's really good kitting. I wish we could do something as simple as that for Midnight Rainbow, but we can't because the way that the gradient works means you've got to have more keys. Think about splitting the base kit and the numpad. I think it makes more sense to split them just based on numbers. More people buy a base kit without a numpad in than buy it with a numpad in. But then it does leave a few people feeling salty about it. So, but you're never going to make everyone happy. Like overall, Zizora, the I can't remember the exact percentage, but it's something like you have 60% more sales if your base kit only includes TKL keys and is a little bit cheaper than if you have a full size one. I mean, and that's across everything that we've ever had. It's something, it's definitely north of 60%. Okay, empty new only and CYL only get most. You know, well, it's only 4 votes. I don't think it really matters. Yeah. That is the only downside. Yeah, you're right, V-Rigdish, that the numpad might not get made. But it does equate to more sales. Like, if you are just doing it for sales, you split the numpad and you sell more. Instantly, you sell more. Them's the rules, right? Like, I mean, Simon's entitled to his opinion. I personally prefer it when a numpad's in the base. But you can't argue with the fact that if you take numpad out of the base, you sell more. So it depends on why you're doing it. If you're doing it for sales, and you want to sell as much as possible, take the numpad out. If you're doing it to barely scrape MOQ and just to get the set made, keep the numpad in. You know, it's the buyers show what they want, and the vast majority of the buyers that buy these things aren't in Discord servers or on streams as much as the majority of us are. I think the people who watch streams and, you know, who are watching today or spend time in the Discord are very much the enthusiasts. And that is a subset that you then have of a viewpoint that's only valid for those, but it's not representative of the market. And trying to get a viewpoint that's representative of the market, the only way you can do that is say, well, what sells? That's the way you do it, right? So you go through the sales data and you say, right, if we do this, this is what tends to happen. If we do that, that's what tends to happen. You know, putting UK ISO in a base kit reduces sales by about 75%. Just a fact. Taking numpad out increased sales by about 60%, like on average. And it's difficult to say, you know, how that goes, but yeah. Sales sadly needs to be prioritized to get projects moving forward. It's something that keeping people angry. Yeah, vocal minority, absolutely, it's a vocal minority. You're talking about a niche of a niche, and it's a subset of the people that are in that niche of a niche that want things to be a certain way, and they're very vocal and very loud about it, but they are like 1% of the overall market that you're talking about, and it's really difficult to kind of like, you can't keep everyone happy, right? Yeah. Looking at what sells, 60 or 65 feels like the majority. Why would they need numpad? So it makes sense. Yeah, in terms of keyboards, 65% up to TKL is the most common. Full sizes are very, you know, rare. Even when we sell them, they don't sell particularly huge numbers. Like the ETAR 87, barely scraped by. You know, there's all sorts of other projects where people go, oh, I want the full size, I want the full size, I want the full size, and then the sales are just terrible. So yeah. So there's no right or wrong answer. There's just a series of compromises. As with everything in life, it's where do you want to compromise? Do you want to compromise in terms of revenue and sales volume, or do you want to compromise in terms of compatibility? And you have to, as a designer or a vendor, you have to, whoever's in charge on that particular set, you have to make your choice and pay your money and see how it goes. Like if I could, I would put UK ISO in with every base kit. Like we do it with Signature Plastics and KKB right now. You know, we've had the deal with KKB since 2021 that if we produce a set with them, I will pay extra for a UK ISO kit and the customer gets it for free. The designer doesn't get a royalty on the ISO set because I'm paying for it at cost and giving it away for free, so there's no profit margin. But the idea is that the hope is then that we will sell more base kits because people get the free ISO keys. We do this with Signature Plastics, for most stuff with Signature Plastics as well. I think Pink Alert we're doing it with, and a few others as well. We did it with DCS Intro as well, and tons of others as well. So we'll try and do it there. KKB pricing on child kits, I wouldn't mind as much. I wish I could get GMK to change their policies on child kit pricing. I wish they'd do, even if it cost more money, I wish they'd do like a 10 MOQ. Genuinely, even if it cost me 25 quid per one for a 10 MOQ UK ISO kit, I couldn't give those away, unfortunately. I'd have to sell them at cost, but I'd sell them at cost, and then people could buy them. But like, we still have over 100 Evil Dolch UK ISO kits, because I said that, because when Gion did Evil Dolch, there's 4 or 5 base kits. I thought maybe we'll sell enough that if we do ISO kits at 10 quid, people will buy them. So I bought out 150 of them, and I think we've sold less than 30. So all of that money tied into those UK ISO kits that will never sell. It's difficult. I only have 2 boards in my entire collection that have a numpad, and tons of numpad sets are just sitting in storage doing nothing. Exactly. What about having both a TKL base kit and a full base kit instead of a separate numpad kit? Well, then you've got 2 lots of MOQ to reach VRugDush. So then you've got, 250 of one and 250 of the other to reach. And it's like, well, and then you've got an empty new set, and it's like, now we've got 3 base kits that we have to get to MOQ. It just makes it a lot harder. Some sets can do it, depending on their popularity and how in demand they are. I don't think that's viable for many sets. Like Fleur East, for example, it would not have worked. You would have cannibalized sales of the numpad full base kit to get people buying the numpad free base kit, and then you wouldn't have made enough of either or. Yeah, the root cause of this is GMK's MOQ, but they're also a company, VRugDush, so they set their MOQs in a way that makes sense for them financially. They don't want to be doing something where they're gonna not break even. So on international kits right now, GMK break even. We sell them at cost plus VAT because we have to charge VAT. So yeah, GMK just beat you. Yeah, it happened with that. Yeah. Can you search on the website for UK ISO kits or base kits that include UK ISO? Yeah, there's sort of. So if I share my browser here, if you go to keycaps and then you scroll down on here, one of the things that you have is keycap language support. So you can say whether you want ANSI, UK ISO in base kit, UK ISO kit is available where it's a separate UK ISO kit, terminal ISO is in base kit, there's a Norda UK kit, or there's an international kit. So it's better if you only tick one. So if we tick the UK ISO in base kit, we can see that Cat-R2 has UK ISO in base, one of the Betastock.js has it in base, SA Motorsports Electric has it in base, the white on black UV. So you can see all of the ones that have it in base. If we untick that and then say, well, which ones have just a UK ISO kit on its own? Well, Lilies of the Valley has a UK ISO kit, which I think that came for free with it. Yeah. So the UK ISO kit for this one is free. So you just need to add it to cart and you get it automatically. Or Evil Dolch, for example. Look, we've only got the UK ISO kits. Like, everything else is sold out. We only have the UK ISO kits in stock. So you can do it that way. You can also say, well, which sets have got a Norda UK kit that has UK in it. So, for example, SA History of Violets had, I think, we've still got the Norda UK kit, which has got UK keys in it. So you can do it that way. Or you can say which sets have got an international kit, and that depends on how the designer's called it. So, for example, Evil Dolch R5 doesn't have an international kit, actually, but it is getting one. Copper R2, I think it's sold out, but there was an international kit for this. Yeah, so you can see that has a full international kit. So that's how you can do it. If you tick more than one, it will start to show you very, very weird results, and it will find sets that fit all of these. So try not to do that. Just tick one at once. But yeah, you can filter through that and get that up. Colors is one of the ones that I want to add at some point, but there's a lot of work to do that as Zora, because we'd have to go through every single set and get all of the colors and add them as tags to each set. That's a lot of work, an awful lot of work. Yeah. would be nice, but GMK don't want to lose out either. Yeah, I mean, they don't want to be producing something that's going to cost them to produce. They want to produce something that's going to make them a profit, right? So that's why they have MOQs. If they didn't care about making money, then they would just say, oh, there's no MOQ for this, you can do whatever. So yeah. Some good tagging. It took ages to get that ready on the website. It took freaking forever. SPC, thank you for pointing all of the tags out where I needed to put them. I'm sure even GMK makes losses on international kits. Yeah, they aim to break even, but they don't break even until they've all sold, right? That's the issue. So they're at a loss until they're sold out. ESFR users don't even get a checkbox. Yeah, I mean, the ESFR users are even lower than UK ISO users, though. Almost everyone in Europe uses ANSI. It's different. The GMK ink kit split makes this harder to find, though. It does. It does. I wouldn't put colours on. You're just wondering if you compare a UK kit for Evil Dolch. Yeah, okay, that's not a bad shout, actually. Okay, that's giving me some ideas as well. I'm going to add that to my to-do list because I quite like that. So there we go. Evil Dolch UK ISO keys for other sets. Right, okay. It's on my to-do list. Might not be quick, but yeah. Are the people at GMK enthusiasts? Do they care about cool things getting made? Yeah, so I would say, are they enthusiastic? Yes, absolutely. Are they enthusiastic about keyboards? Yes and no. It depends on the member staff. GMK is a big company. Is Christoph crazy about keyboards? Probably not, but he likes the fact that they bring in revenue and money and projects and all of that kind of stuff. He likes to be busy, right? And he's the CEO. You get down to kind of like the level of people that we that deal with all the time. So people like Mario and Gabriela, who are the reps. Are they into keyboards? Yeah, they go to meetups. They get to see a lot of cool stuff. Are they keyboard nerds like I would say you and I are? Probably not, but it's their job. They're engaged in it because they have to be, because it pays the bills, right? You have the manufacturers at GMK. So Franz, who runs the production, he is absolutely an enthusiast for injection molding. Anything to do with plastics, material sciences, forging, CNCing, making stuff, he is absolutely all over it. And that's really, really cool because it gives him a lot of opportunity to do things. Is he particularly keyboard enthusiast? I think he likes a nice tool. You know, you go around the factory and they have nice keyboards all dotted around and things like that. I don't know if many of them are actually going out and buying keyboards from us or Novel Keys or Canon Keys or whoever. I'd suspect not. They make their own shit and they've got some really cool stuff. Are they enthusiasts who want to make cool stuff? Yeah. Are they keyboard nerds? No, not particularly. But they don't have to be, right? They don't have to be. ESFR is an odd thing to put together, I think. Do they share anything? I'm not an expert. I do not know. The Enter Key Legends for it maybe do for Evil Dolch, but most kits have those, even Evil Dolch. Yeah, I've got it on my to-do list. I'm going to have a look at that because it's giving me an idea of something else I can do. So yeah, I think we might have an opportunity to solve them. We'll see. Right, I've been streaming for like an hour, and I haven't even gotten to what I'm supposed to be doing today, which is chores. Q100s, yeah, they have a lot of Q100s, but it's their own keyboard, right? Why wouldn't they? We have a lot of JO1s and JO3s around, right? It's the same sort of thing. Also, the ATA team has Pride of Place on here, so thank you, Gemma, again, for sending me that, because that's very kind of you, and it's built and it's up there now. Right. Keep your questions coming in though, guys, because I do enjoy talking about this kind of stuff and trying to give you guys at least some insight. But today, what we are doing is we are boxing up keycap sets. So in the background, I have all my keycap sets in tubs. I ran out of the tubs, and then Joshua, who sometimes watches the streams, he messaged me a little while ago and he said, Jay, are you going to get any more of those tubs? I'd like to buy some off of you. And I was like, well, maybe. I hadn't planned on getting any more. I was just going to keep on putting them into bags like this one, where I've labelled the bag and what's included in it. And that's just not great for my solution. The bags don't really sit well with the boxes. I reached out to the company that I used to get these tubs from. And they basically said, oh, we don't have them anymore and we're going bankrupt, which is a company called Zorro. The company that bought out Zorro stock, I reached out to them, Cromwell's, and they now stock the tubs that I use. You just have to buy them in huge bulk. So I ordered 500. I have a huge box of them here, and they come in boxes of 10s like this. So I have a stupid number of boxes, but now I can actually carry on packing up my keycaps into boxes, and then when we do move PT, it'd be nice and easy to move. We are a chai bunch. Yeah, I love you guys though. I wouldn't stream if I didn't enjoy it. So, first up, DCS intro. Let's get this all labelled up and moved across. Base. Where's the and sign? UK ISO. Bags are my nemesis right now. I've lost my bag of EPPT Dreamscape alphas. Oh no. Oh no. I hope you find it, Talvin. I hope you find it. Another solution for running out of tubs would be to sell some key sets, but that's a lot less fun. Yeah, I mean,
Tasty.
I am going to have to, as part of the house move, I am going to have to start selling off. Hey, Walking Computer, thank you so much for the raid. Commuter, sorry, thank you so much for the raid with 88 people. We are boxing up keycap sets that my company sells and putting them into storage today. Yeah, so at some point when I do move, I move house and we move the company from the current warehouse to my new barn that I'm building. Yeah, it'll be easy to move them in there in boxes and bags. Hey guys, thank you so much for joining. Thank you. I can't do the shout out thing in a minute, but I will do it.
Incredible.
I can't remember the code for the shout outs. It's ages since we've had a raid from someone I didn't know. What's the command for shout out? I can't remember. Okay, that's DCS intro. Nice. Custom keycap legend maker. I'm not making custom keycap. Wait, what? Oh, is that what Walking Commuter does? Makes custom keycap legends? Is that what they do? I don't know who they are. It's not a name I recognize, I'm afraid. I'm going to check out their channel though. Let's do that. In fact, let's load up Twitch and check out what they do. So, this is whose raid it is. The Walking Commuter. Free body spray at Comic Cons. Long Thunder Rumbles. Interesting. Okay. About. Lived in New York for 30 plus years and would like to share my walking journeys with you. Oh, nice. Oh, cool. So this guy walks around New York and most of my walks are commutes to and from work, so I hope you join me for a stroll and chat. That's such a cool idea. I love that. Dude. Right. Okay, follow. Straight away. That is such a cool idea. Walking around a cool city like New York and streaming it. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I thought that sorry, Gadgetoid. Yeah, I thought that's what you meant. The Walking Commuter did, which I thought was a weird name for someone. What a great idea! Hell yeah, cool. Well, thank you so much, Walking Commuter, for the raid. I really appreciate it. Yeah, we make keyboards, and I don't mean keyboards that are like Dell. We make keyboards like this, which is full of RGBs, all clacky goodness, and this one even has gas struts. When you open it up, it has gas struts on the side. So we make really high-end keyboards. This weighs something like 2 kilos. And I run Prototypist Keyboards, which is a company that does this for the UK. Or we have something like this, which is a 5 kilo stainless steel keyboard, which has all sorts of cool designs on it, which is crazy heavy. So yeah, how about a walking community for Leeds? I don't live in Leeds. Leeds is close, but yeah. Musical background? Nice. I do not have a musical background. Keyboards that we do are not musical keyboards. They are very much typing keyboards. And today we're just doing some chores, which is basically me taking all of my coloured keycap sets and putting them in tubs, like you can see behind me on the display there. So yeah, usually we build a keyboard on stream. Today we're not building a keyboard, we're just tubbing everything up. Okay, next we have a bit of a colourful set. So yeah, this is DCS Pepperbait. Tune it well enough and it's musical? Maybe. I get what you're saying.
Incredible.
Goobert Scoop, thank you so much for the follow. I thoroughly appreciate you. And any sort of tech. Yeah, I have a big history with tech. I think that my thing is out of, yeah, okay, I need to change the cartridge. Let me go and grab another cartridge, guys. I'll be back in a second. Yeah, I used to work heavily in tech. I haven't done since I've done this for the last 5 years, but I used to work in banking as a senior program manager doing a lot of large-scale technical deployments. But I haven't done that for a number of years now because I do this instead. See how printing. Yeah, it's better. Cool. Wintergarten made a good use of a typewriter to fill out the percussion. Yeah, I mean, you can use keyboards for that, and you could make some software very easily that played a tone depending on what keycap you pressed. You could absolutely do that kind of stuff. Yeah. I've been looking. I blame Colleen for this if he's listening, because he's got me looking at the Orchid, which, if you haven't seen, is a pretty cool instrument thing. Why are we not typing? Did I not connect my keyboard correctly? I seem to have broken my keyboard. Okay, I'll use the other one for now. Let's move that up there. Move this back over. Too much showing off keyboards has broken something. I think it might be the cable that's not working great. There we go. Okay, so let's see if this finds it. Yeah, okay. So Colleen has got me wanting one of these. This is the Orchid from Telepathic Instruments, and it's basically a synthesizer, but it's just so cool. It's very expensive though. It's, 500 quid, but it's really, really cool. But Matt Berry's on the thing, and like...
You might want to tell your sales department. They're missing a unit.
The whole thing is like that. It's well worth a watch, well worth checking out. I'm not sponsored by these. I don't know anything about them. I don't know who runs it. It's just a cool product, and I like it. And I kind of want it, but I can't afford it, so I do not have it. So yeah, I don't know if it is a Tail Impala guy. It might be. It's really, really cool either way. The ad for that is hilarious. I know. Colleen sent it to me the other day, and I've not been able to stop watching it. I haven't bought one yet. I can see myself buying one, and I really don't want to because I can't afford it. I need to buy other people things for Christmas, so yeah. The other hobby that kills me. Is cars. Like I'm gonna have to sell some of my car collection, I think, just to fund the house move. And I was saying that before, actually, just before the raid. I'm gonna have to sell a lot of my personal stuff in Keyboard World because that's gonna fund part of the house move. So I think someone did ask if taking them out of the original packaging reduces the value of them. Maybe, but I didn't ever collect all of these for the value of them. I collected them because I wanted them. So, yeah. Lego and Synths. Lego is another huge one of mine as well. Don't forget, if anyone does have DCS Pepper Bait, I did commission the UK ISO kits to be made. There's only 5 of these made. I have one. There are 4 others. Only one has been claimed, so there are 3 left. Please do reach out if you want it. But it's a cute set. Super cute set. How is the house hunter going? We've found a house. We've put an offer in on it. The offer has been accepted.
Incredible.
The Duvit, thank you so much for the follow. The house that we are currently in, we've accepted an offer to sell it, and now we're just at the whim of the gods of moving house to see whether the buyer comes through and whether we get our mortgage and everything else that we need. So the ultimate upshot of that is TBC, but it's progressing as best we can right now. Okay, so this is GMK Verdant Retro. So yeah, you bought a house a couple months ago. Congrats, man! Really well done. Like we'll see how it goes. I'm not at a point where I'm happy to say that we have bought a new house yet because still a million things could go wrong. But I'm hoping that everything goes to plan and we'll be moving early in the new year. And you'll know whether that's happened or not, because as soon as that happens, I will have the house that we're buying is a mess and it needs a lot of work. And I'm quite handy when it comes to doing that kind of stuff. I'm quite skilled when it comes to DIY and just getting stuff done and trying new things out. And I feel like that's not going to be an issue, but I will need capital to do that with, which means a lot of my personal collection of keyboards and keycap sets and things like that will get sold to fund some of it. Which is sad and exciting all at the same time. So yeah, but I don't think me putting the keycaps in tubs particularly undervalues them. The one we lost out on. So the story goes like this, VRugdush. So we found a house that we wanted to buy, but our house wasn't up for sale at the time. And we tentatively put an offer in on the house we wanted to buy. And they said, oh, you're not ready to proceed? No, we're not going to accept your offer. There's nothing wrong with your offer. Financially wise, it's fine, it's viable, but you aren't ready to go. Go sell your house and then we'll talk. And about a week after that, that house sold and it was off the market. So then, because that was off the market, we kind of didn't rush to put ours up for sale. And about 8 weeks later, ours went up for sale, which was middle of September. And we put ours up for sale on the Monday. We had viewings on the Tuesday, and we had offers on the Wednesday, and offers were accepted by the Thursday. So we'd agreed to sell it within those 4 days. And on the day we accepted the offer, the house that we'd lost out on before came back on the market because that deal had fallen through. So instantly we said, right, we want to see it again. We want to come and see it again. And then we put another offer in, and they didn't accept the first offer. We increased it a little bit. They accepted the second offer. And then since then, it's been a case of we're going through the whole get mortgages and have viewings and 1,000,001 other things that we need to do to get contracts exchanged. So it did happen really, really quick. Once it started to happen, there's still a long way to go, and anything could fall through at any minute, any time. So I'm not counting my chickens just yet until we actually get confirmation that we're moving. Either way, I think we will just sell ours, even if it means we have to move in with family for a little bit. So we'll see. Yeah, so the house that we've put the offer in on that's been accepted is the one that we wanted a few months ago. So effectively, there is a large garage which will be great for as a replacement for the workshop. The garage has an office on the back of it, which will become the equivalent of this room that I'm in now. It's about the same size as well, so I'll have stuff in there. That will also become the packing room, because I won't need like my games console and I won't need like a sofa in there particularly. I can just have like a chair and stuff like that, and I won't need the meetings table that we've got in here as well, because we won't be doing meetings there. So yeah, but that's going to be a long time down the road. We need to move into the house, live in the house, be living there, and get everything set up to live in the house properly, because it needs a lot of work. Then once all of that's done in like a year's time, that's when we'll start to look at moving the business and what does that look like and how that is all going to work. So it's a long time off yet. Yeah, who knows? But that's ultimately the plan. And then there is space for me to build a small wooden barn structure for the cars, for the car collection, which will go in what is the front yard. Blackbrook and Culane have already been roped into coming around to help me build that. So we'll see how that goes, but everything else has got to kind of align before we get to move. So there's a long way to go yet. Whilst my wife keeps planning picking colours and things like that, I'm not in that frame of mind just yet. I'm very much in the frame of mind that it's not done until I get the keys in my hand, right? The deal's not done until I get the keys in my hand. Reed says, you don't trust me to help you build it? I'm fantastic with tools. I would not trust you with my power tools, Captain Reed. Let's put it that way. No, I like Culane and Blackbrook were kind of aware of this. We did a hike a couple of weeks ago where we climbed a mountain together, and they were aware that this was kind of happening at the time, because I was quite a bit stressed about it, and we had a few beers and were talking about it, and they both offered their help to come and help me build the wooden shed stroke barn that we're going to build at the front for the cars. And because I found like a kit that you can have custom made to order, where you buy it and then it's all like wooden cladding and wooden timber framed and stuff like that, and you just need to have a concrete base put in. Now I'm comfortable that I could do it and absolutely do all of the assembly work, but I can't do a lot of the lifting of stuff because it's heavy on my own. So we will need like a forklift for the weekend, which I have access to, and I will need physical help doing it because it's not a one-person job. So yeah, so they're going to help. But yeah. You want everything pink anyway, right? My wife, so funnily enough, in the house that we're buying, the kitchen is already pink. My wife wants to change that immediately. So yeah, my office might have a few splashes of pink in it, but we'll see. We'll see. It's a long time away before we actually get. Reed be too busy making comments about shipping prices. Absolutely, he would. Yeah. Do you have contractors' liability insurance? I do not have Captain Reed liability insurance. No. I don't have Captain Reed liability insurance. Right, what's next up? Okay, this is... Oh, that's a vintage pom set. Let's get another box out. J shipping. They're not my shipping prices. They're not my shipping prices. They're DHL shipping prices. Remember that. They are DHL shipping prices. Okay, this is OG POM cherry keycaps. They're different. The OG, like if you want a set of V-Push, these are reclaimed from vintage keyboards. They're not great quality. They're dirty. They're old. I have some sets of these. You can have them for 40 quid each. which is about what you'd pay probably 100 quid to get one of the boards on the aftermarket. So you can have them for 40 quid each if you would like them. They are fine, and they serve an 1800 style CP layout. Gemma, hello my dear, thank you so much for being here. We're just doing some keyboard chores today. And the 80, which this side, the 80 is here on the back. I just had some me time yesterday afternoon because it was a quiet day, so I built Lego, which was great. It was good fun. Yeah, so they were. Let me show you the Rigdish, because like they're old and dirty, so the legends aren't exactly white anymore. They're a little bit yellowed, and some might be worse than others because these all came in one big bag, and I had to manually sort them all out with Mel. So we put all of the 4s together, all of the 5s together, all of the 6s together, until we could then collate them into a set. So yeah, they all had like a CP style layout. I've just got the odds and ends here that's left over, so I don't think mine's a full set. This is just like the kind of like the mixed bag that was left. So there's 2 space bars in this one, for example. Everything else has got 1 space bar. So yeah. Quiet down, Reed. You're making my head hurt again. Looks awesome. Wish I had one. Why did you give me one if you didn't have one yourself? You should have kept it for yourself. Right. Next up is Basil's set. I've forgotten the name of it though. Can anyone remember what this was called? This is that DCS set. Can anyone remember what she called it? Oh, DCS. What's the name of the set? Just that kind of gal. Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm on the Switch every night. So much easier to see. Wait, what? I was out last night till 1 AM and I had to post event drinks in my house until 2 AM. Nice. Good morning. That's the one. Thank you. DCS, good morning. I hope if I spelled morning correctly. I hate to be that guy, but how's the thesis progressing? Updates are on the updates page, Reed. Updates are on the updates page. I am waiting on O-rings at the minute. They're all ready to go. They just need O-rings now, and then some with solder PCBs will be waiting for replacement daughter boards. So as soon as everything arrives, I'll get them shipped out. What I don't want to do is ship them out and have people not be able to build their boards. Like that, because that's just a terrible, experience all round. You can't hear O-rings and not think of stainless steel rings. Read. Mine out of the gutter, please, sir. $0.99 was DSS. I don't think I've seen 99 cents. You want to get Metro Prime? Is that out yet? Is the new Metro Prime out? I didn't realise it was out yet. Do you know, as much as I love Switch plastics, I do not enjoy the packaging. Came out yesterday? Oh, okay. That might be a after we've moved house kind of thing that I pick up, because I would like to play it. And often when the reviews say something's a bit crap, I actually still really enjoy it. So I tend not to take reviews with anything more than a grain of salt. Oh, I do need new book suggestions at the minute as well. I finished the series that I was reading, so I need new suggestions for a new series. Oh, send me a link, Telvin, if you've got a link for it. That sounds quite nice. Green and pink Arizona tea cans. That sounds really nice. I know exactly which Arizona tea you mean, so that sounds like quite a nice set. Whoops. Drop a keycap on the floor. Read the whole of Wheel of Time, certainly commitment. Yeah, it's taken me since, I think June was when I started the Wheel of Time stuff. I'd read some of the earlier books years ago, but I got the full collection last year for Christmas. Thank you. Let's have a look at that. Oh, it's in stock as well. Is it a 40s only set? Is this not going to have a full base kit? Okay, that's why. Yeah, okay. I do like the set. I really like the set. It is not going to work on any of my keyboards. Yeah. Thank you though, Talbin. I appreciate you sharing it. Yeah. So, yeah, the whole of Wheel of Time was a long process to read. And it was tough going in some places as well. It was tough going, but it was worthwhile reading, I think. I enjoyed it overall. You're going to read the books that the Slow Horses is based on? They're meant to be good. What books are they? The JO4. So the issue with the JO4, and I haven't checked out the king on this. Does it have something? Oh, it does have something. That might work for the JO4 actually. But the other thing is I'm not keen on the legends because it's the old, what we call it, legends that's been used for the modifiers. The drifter style legends. Not overly keen on those personally. Is it the Trashman legends? Is that what they call them? Yeah, Trashman icons. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of them. But I do like the colourway. I think that colourway with a full base kit and standard mods would be really nice. But the JO4 I don't think will ever get made. I don't think anyone would actually buy it, if I'm completely honest. I think the time for the JO4 is long gone. Even the 40s community, kind of like, even when they were into it, I don't think even then they'd have spent a lot of money on it. I have read the Discworld series. I do listen to audiobooks when I'm in the workshop of my own. I've recently listened to Project Hail Mary, and I'm currently listening to The Martian. But I do need something to read, as in on my Kindle. So yeah. The JO3 is really, really cool. I did show it on stream the other day, yesterday I think. It is really, really cool. Right, what's up next? Oh, that's for Verdant Retro. This is the extension kit, so let me put a label on this and add those there. Children of Time. Do you know what? I do have the books for Children of Time. That might be a good shout for me to read. Extension. If you're into fantasy and want some comfort reading, the Belgariad is my go-to. I've not read that. I want something that can be like a project to read in the new year. So what I want is I want a series that's going to take me at least 3 or 4 months to read, that I can start reading over the Christmas break, and will take me like it's not going to be one book and then I'm done. Like I want something that's like 4, 5, 6, 7 books sort of like length to get through. Sci-fi, fantasy, I'm kind of open when it comes to that kind of stuff. Would you be a hun, Kelvin, and just DM me a link to like the books? Yeah, I saw that you'd mentioned the Expanse series on Instagram Read. I will definitely take a look at that. Hyperion Cantos is another good record. Yeah, I've got the Hyperion Cantos. I actually have been considering for a long time getting a tattoo of the Shrike. I haven't done it yet, but I feel like if I ever get a character tattooed on me, it will be the Shrike. But yeah, Dan Simmons' Hyperion Canto is really good. Twilight. Okay, where's the ban button for Goobert Scoob? Where's the ban button? Yeah, Twilight is not my bag, I'm afraid. The Shrike is something else. 50 Shades of Grey. Do you want to know a really horrible story about 50 Shades of Grey? And I mean this is really horrible. If you want to hear my absolutely horrible story about 50 Shades of Grey, put an emoticon in chat of some type. I don't care. Like put the SPC logo in chat. Use the SPC logo because I have a very horrible story. Belgariad is pretty nice indeed. I also liked it as a kid. Comfort reading is a good description. Okay. I hopefully Telvin will send it over to me and I'll have a look at it. Yeah. Nothing wrong with Twilight. It's not my bag, Gemma. It's not my bag. I have the Evangelion connection next on my list to read. Okay, I don't want, like... I assume that's graphic story rather than anything else. So I don't think I want something like that, because I wanted something I can read on my Kindle in bed and just, like, crash out for an hour each night and read. Okay, there's enough SPC rockets for me to want to tell this story. So years and years ago, as most of you know, I used to work for a bank and I used to commute a lot. Like, I used to be up and down to London, there and back every Tuesday, every Thursday. And I was traveling down to London one morning. I think it was down to London. It might have been on the way back, but I'm pretty sure it was on the way down to London. And I was usually on the 7:05 train from Leeds, so it was really early in the morning. It's probably about 7:20 in the morning, something like that. And we went through, I think it was either Wakefield, Westgate, or Doncaster. And a lady got on the train, and we all had booked seats, and she sat down at the side of me. And I was reading whatever I was reading on my Kindle at the time. Can't remember. It's unimportant to the story. But the lady at the side of me, she kept making like little giggly noises and like squirming in her seat. She went, ooh, ooh, as she was reading something. And she must have been about, I'm going to guess she was 60, 65 years old. She was not, she was dressed quite smartly. But she was reading something on her Kindle, on her book. I think she was a physical book actually, but she was making little giggly noises and stuff like that. And I remember looking over and I remember seeing that it had the title on the book or seeing the spine or something, and it was 50 Shades of Grey that she was reading. And this kept going on for about half an hour, and we got kind of like, maybe halfway through the whole journey. I was on the train for about 2 hours, so it's about an hour into the whole journey. And all of a sudden, there was like a smell that kind of like wafted in my direction. And the smell was like you'd had tinned salmon and opened the tinned salmon, just to kind of give you some clarity. And it wasn't hugely strong, but it was noticeable. It was noticeable. Like, this smell was there. I didn't put two and two together, and I didn't think what it was. I thought someone had just had a tuna sandwich for breakfast, right, on the train. Someone was just eating tuna sandwich on the train for breakfast. When the lady got up, she got up before me. She got up and left, and the smell got instantly stronger. And there was a wet patch on the seat next to me. The seat was physically damp. Like, you could see... And like all the back of her skirt had like a damp patch on it in a certain area, and yeah, that happened to me. I hope she really enjoyed the book. She certainly seemed to be. So yeah, I hope fair play to her. Yeah. Anyway, back to keyboards. This is MT News Skywriter that we're doing now. So, yeah, I don't know what to say. Like, I didn't say anything to the woman because I didn't know what to say. But I hope she realised before she got to the office and had like a quick spritz of deodorant or something. And I don't want to make fun of her. It was just unpleasant from my perspective. Like, I don't want to make fun of the poor lady. But yeah, she just really enjoyed reading Game of Thrones, not Game of Thrones, 50 Shades of Grey. What a story to come into in the morning. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've told people that story before. I'm going to keep my toilet company. Yeah, I hope she was okay. I hope she was okay. But she seemed to really enjoy the book. Like, really enjoy it. As Reed says, though, I don't think 50 Shades of Grey is particularly anything. It's relatively tame. Like, I've not read it, but my wife has read bits of it to me, like extracts of it, and I thought it was pretty boring, pretty blasé. So this keycap set is on a keyboard at the minute, so that's why not all of the keys are here, but this is Skywriter, which is this lovely shade of green. Super, super nice. She was ready to tackle the day. She was absolutely set up for the day. She was going in hard. Like she was gonna crack some skulls, get some shit done. She was set up for the day. She'd had a Weetabix, which for anyone who's not from the UK who's watching will not make any sense whatsoever. Hey Joe, hope you're doing well, man. Good to see you, buddy. I felt really bad for her. Like, I guess the male equivalent would be having to take a seat and not being able to stand up. You know, that happens to men far too often. Yeah. At least it's one of those little funny stories I have as an anecdote. It's not a great icebreaker though. You can't tell it at parties. Which actually, that's a good question. What are your what anecdotes do you have that are good to tell at parties? What's your go-to party story? Minus 17 degrees? Oof. Dude, you're a stronger man than I am. I wouldn't be there in that temperature. I'd be at home under the blankets. Not the kind of parties you go to. Clearly not, Mr. E. Clearly not. But what's your guys' favorite little anecdotes that you tell at parties? That your little good story that you tell? Because everyone's got one, right? Everyone's got like a little story that they tell. Let me know what yours is. Okay. Nope. We just not engaging on that one at all. You must have like a little story, Reed. You must. I don't believe for a second that you don't. Don't think anyone has stories like mine. They do. They absolutely do. My stories are just normal stories. That's all they are. I do have another one that's celebrate your promotion by buying this keyboard from Prototypes.net. Nice, nice. I just told my newly promoted friends to buy keyboards. That's good. That's how much fun you are at parties. I do have another story that this is a long time ago. So back in the day when I was in college, this would have been around 2001, maybe 2002. I used to date a girl called Esme, and she lived miles away from where I grew up. So it was like two buses. It was a bus into Leeds and a bus out of Leeds. And she lived just outside of a place called Chapel Allerton in Leeds, across in the Gledhow Valley, which is, you don't need to know these things, but anyway, she lived all the way over there. And where she lived was an estate that had been built after the Second World War and had originally been primarily council-owned properties to like house people after the Second World War. But her family owned the house that they lived in. And she lived with just a mum. And I can't remember Esme's mum's name, but she was a lovely woman who hated me. Really disliked me for whatever reason. But she was a lovely woman. I liked her. And what we would usually do is on a Friday night is we'd go out into Leeds with our friends. We would then go back to Esme's house for a couple more drinks and to hang out. And then I would spend the night and I'd go home usually around Saturday afternoon, and then I'd see her again at college on Monday. Great, perfect, fantastic for a relationship when you're that age. And I remember one Saturday morning we got up and it was quite a lazy day and her mum wasn't in, and we went out to the shops and we bought goodies and we were going to watch TV, a movie, whatever. And we got back, and when we got back to the house, and bear in mind that there was a lot of old people lived in the area, this little old lady from about 5 doors up who walked to the shops every day for her newspaper and her milk or whatever, with a little Zimmer frame. You used to see her walking. It'd take a half an hour to walk each way. It was only like a quarter of a mile, but she was being active and stuff. And she lived maybe 10 doors away, but she knocked on the door and she said, "I'm really sorry, but could I use your toilet? Please, could I use your toilet? Because I'm just not going to get back to my house before I have to go." And we're like, "Yeah, of course you can, of course you can." So I even helped the old lady up the stairs to the toilet because there was only one toilet in the house on the top floor. And the lady was up there for about 20 minutes, and then she came down on her own and stuff like that, and she said thank you so much. And she tried to give my girlfriend at the time, Esme, she tried to give her like £10, like a £10 note, and of course she was like, no, you don't have to pay me, it's just using the toilet, it's fine, whatever. Do you need a hand and I was like, do you need a hand getting home, do you need a hand getting out of the garden steps? And she's like, no. And she carried off and she went home, and we went back to our film and thought nothing of it until about an hour later, when Esme needed to go to the toilet. And she went to the toilet, and the poor old lady had diarrhea, and it was kind of like in the toilet, but there was like a little bit on the toilet seat around where she'd been sat, and it kind of like gone up the back of the toilet seat. And not only had it gone up the back of the toilet seat, but it was kind of like on top of the back of the toilet system as well, where you push the button, the handle. I think it had a handle, the handle that you'd push as well, so it was covering the handle. And not only was it on the toilet and on the cistern, it was kind of like on the wall as well. And it kind of like went up the wall, and I think a little bit was touching the ceiling too. And it was kind of like on the sides, on the floor as well, on the mat, on the floor as well. And if you've ever looked at one of those houses that is kind of rendered and then they have stones thrown in them and it's kind of like pebble dashed, that's what it looked like all over the bathroom. Across the toilet seat, on the floor, up the wall, up onto the ceiling, just this brown pebble dashed kind of thing. This poor old lady had explosive diarrhea, and the smell, it stunk to high heaven. Yeah, and me being a 17 or 18-year-old male, I went and caught my bus. I just went and caught my bus. Now I would have been the type of person to help out and clean out. At 17, I was very much not that type of person, and I just went and caught my bus because I did not want to deal with that. So poor Esme had to deal with it. Suffice it to say, our relationship didn't last much longer. But yeah, that was a thing. That was a thing. This is the poop up the wall story again. I have told it. What woman wouldn't like Jake? Most women don't like me. Dude, like, I'm like a 3 out of 10 at best. I would be so much more successful in relationships if I was gay. 100%. Usually if the mum hates, it's V. Wait, what? My stories are keep to my grave. I'm having fish for lunch right now. What's your opinion on the Ayula F75? There's a reason we don't sell it, just a lazy guy, sorry. There's a reason I don't sell it, because I don't think it's worthwhile people buying. Take that to mean what you will. I think there are better options. Your potty stories involve a lot of body fluids. Sorry. How do you have an explosion that defies gravity? I don't know. I think it was just projectile. Yeah. I do answer questions, just a lazy guy. I was just in the process of telling a story. The Ayula F75 is not something I would ever consider selling on my store because I don't think it offers good value for money. Unfortunately, there are better options out there at slightly higher prices. You may choose to disagree with me. Don't have to be gay. This state is in the middle where all the cool people hang out. Fair. Okay, I'd like to think that I'm in that, but I'm probably not. I'm definitely not. Please do share, Cargary. Please do share the story. I'm always interested in hearing it. I just thought it because I heard some people don't like it because it isn't moddable. That wouldn't be an issue to me. I do software development more, to be exact. I'm a coder. The only thing that throws me off is that it's in a plastic case. Okay, so most of our customers are coders or developers. A lot of people in this chat are coders, developers, software engineers, a better term, software engineers. Some are hardware engineers. Some are even, other roles entirely. I do a lot of coding myself. Yeah. Would you prefer something else in terms of software engineer, Captain Reed? Would you prefer a different terminology? I'm happy to just go with engineer. I like nice keyboards, just a lazy guy. I don't think that the Ayula range is a good keyboard for anyone. It's kind of a product that missed its slot in terms of what it was trying to be. And the Neo and QK range, for what they offer you, they're easy to assemble. They build like Lego. They're dead easy to build. I build them on stream every Sunday. what they offer you in terms of being able to control the firmware yourself, mod the board yourself, and do everything else is so much more important. For example, as a coder, whenever I'm doing coding work, I often want to like describe my variables and have them on a macro key so that I can tap one key and it pops that variable into whatever I'm trying to code at the time. Could be a million things. Sometimes with the store that I run, the names of like variables get really long. Cool to just have it, copy and paste it once and have it on a macro key. That's really important to me, and you can do that with most QMK based boards, especially ones where the QMK firmware is opened up. Then you have the build quality. I don't think the build quality is particularly great. It's difficult to mod. There's not much you can do with it. The case isn't great quality, and I think there are much better options. When you start to get to kind of like the stuff that we have here, where it's all anodized aluminium, and you know things are a little bit different, and you can open the case just by doing this kind of thing, then I think you have a ton more options in terms of what you can do and what you can deliver for value for money. So when you're considering stuff, and when I'm considering stock for the store, my first thing is, what's the customer proposition? What's the value for money out of the product that we're selling? Because some are highly priced. This one is 400 quid. It's 440 pounds, I think, including VAT. It's expensive, but it's a great product. You know, so I think it has to meet that value proposition versus product proposition. The two things have to merge in a way that I think is acceptable for who I want to sell keyboards to, and I don't want to just sell any old tat. I want to sell something nice. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Only software engineer. Do not call me a programmer. Fair. To me, a programmer is someone who uses the old punch cards. Do you remember we used to have, like, you guys are all too young for this, but I remember when you used to use punch cards and reel-to-reel machines and things like that. That's more of a programmer. Software engineering is software. Hack fraud works for me and sums up my code. I mean, that probably works better for me as well. I consider myself an accidental code monkey. Yeah, fair. The only issue is that it's kind of only budget keyboard that I can get here. I live in Romania, and if I wanted to get something from the USA, shipping alone would be around $250. We're in the EU, in the UK, we ship to Romania probably 10 times a month. It's not a huge area for us to ship to, but we do. You can check out our website, dude. Okay, Calgary. Friend and myself were late to joining a night out when we were 18 or 19. We had a kebab before leaving, and my friend says, when you puke up a kebab, it looks like a tuna pasta bake. Oh my god, that's awful. We moved on, got at the club, speed drank, and both of us got very drunk. He got kicked out, I followed. You sure? I bet it was the other way around. I went outside, sat on a bench outside, puked up between my feet on the floor and thought nothing of it. Friend gave me some gum on mint and sat there next to me minding my own business. Girl sits next to me. She asked if it's my puke between my feet, and I said yes, but it's okay because I got gum. Then before I realised, we're kissing. I don't know what happened after that, but ended up back at my friend's house and sleeping on his sofa bed, which ran parallel to his bed with a gap between. During the night, we both puke on the floor. I wake up first, and the first thing I say to him, you're right, it does look like a tuna pasta bake. Oh my god. Dude, that's horrific. That's horrific. My granddad was a computer engineer in the days of punch cards. Yeah, that was what I class as programming, because you are telling the computer how to behave on a fundamental pre-operating system level. You are programming the computer. I think software engineering is not programming the computer, it's using multiple variables to create an output, which I don't think is necessarily programming. But yeah. Calgary, well done, man. Well done. I like that story. That's good. Can we not talk about this at lunchtime? You don't have to watch Read. You can sit down. It's just bodies. You know Jay. Yeah. I have lots of stories. Do you have an estimate on how long shipping would take to get to Romania? If it's something in stock and we ship it out on Monday because we've missed the cutoff for it to ship today, you'll have it by Wednesday or Thursday. It's like a few days. It's not long. Software engineering is a discipline of practices, one of which is programming. Oh, I don't think anyone really programs today in software engineering. I could be convinced that I'm wrong on that, but I don't think that writing code isn't necessarily programming. Writing an OS level function, that I would consider programming. I think it has to be OS level or lower for it to class as programming. And I don't think many people do that today. I think that's a lot. There's a bigger gap between that than software engineering. So yeah. Right, okay. Next keycap set. We are on to PBT glitch. Right, PBT glitch. This is the cool set with the double legends to make it look like a drop shadow, which is really nice. How about Fluffy Wear Engineer? Analogous to the fluffy science discussion. Yeah, I like that. I'm a fluffy software engineer. Yeah. Fluffy Wear Engineer, sorry. Yeah, Fluffy Wear Engineer. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Scripting, coding, programming, I guess. Yeah, okay. Okay, I could possibly go with that. Microcontrollers equals programming. I think if you are fundamentally controlling the hardware beneath the operating system, it's programming, which is a type of code. I think if you are using variables described in a language, you are coding solely. But this is my personal definition. I'm happy to be told, Jay, you're wrong. This is actually how it is. You know, stop being an idiot. Happy for you guys to tell me that. If you open up the website, just a lazy guy, it's probably just a part that's that. I don't think the Ayla itself is actually in stock. I think that's a very old product, so yeah. So we have fluffy engineers and actual engineers. Okay, I can deal with that. What do? I engineer the fluff. I am the engineer of the fluff. Yeah. I think that's fair, Gadgetoid, don't you think? I think that I'm being fair with this. Oh, have my batteries died on this? No. Okay, so we've got PBT glitch. And we've got the base kit for this. This is actually a really cool set. The drop shadow on this set is super nice and super cool. It just looks really nice. I need to find a board to put this on because it's so good. And yet no one buys it. It just sits in stock and none of you buy it. You're all missing out. It's got UK ISO in base as well. I don't know. Yeah, so just a lazy guy. We tend to sell more premium products than just budget products. But yeah, we ship worldwide. We ship everywhere. We even ship to Antarctica. So. Which reminds me, I will have to stop the stream in about 15 minutes because I need to prep for DHL and UPS arriving. My personal take is a programmer is someone who just focuses on the code and builds that, whilst the developer is someone who spends more time outside of the code and bigger picture of what ifs and future me problems. Maybe. There are people who would call HTML and CSS programming. I think that I would definitely call that coding. I'm not sure I would agree that it's programming. I don't know. Was watching the VOD from last stream. Thanks, man. Yeah, the house is. I would be remiss if I said we were definitely moving, but it is moving in that direction. Scripting, not coding. It's not code. Well. What's the definition of code, Reed? Where are you defining code? Scripting. What's the difference between a script and code for you, Reed? Tell me that.
Taste.
Kiris, thank you so much for the raid. I appreciate you. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the stream. We're just doing some keyboard chores today. Not doing anything important. We are in the process of just putting a lot of my keycaps into tubs so that I can store them in my shelving space. Raid incoming. Thanks, guys. What were you doing today, Kiris? I haven't followed one of your streams for a while. I apologise. I'm remiss when it comes to watching other streamers. I've already made my thoughts on the ALO stuff clear, I think. Just the lazy guy. Coding pertains to logic. Interesting. And scripting doesn't? She's cursing EC Springs. What EC were you building, Kiris? What were you building in EC today? Modding the HHQB with Dynacaps? Okay. The Dynacaps is the best way to do it, I think. I'm a big fan of Dynacaps. Thanks, just lazy guy. Take care, man. There we go. That's PBT glitch done. I'm ready to go on the shelf of shame. HKHK bin. It went that well? Okay. It was your first time streaming? I know I follow you on Instagram. I assumed you streamed all the time, Kirist. I assumed you streamed all the time. My apologies if that's not the case. I hope you had a really good time. Right. Next up, what do we have? Started today? Yeah. I'm still terrible when it comes to it. The only other streamer I catch often is Alex Otos, because he streams on a Sunday just before I do. So I have him on whilst I'm prepping to stream, and occasionally I catch Novel Keys, and occasionally I catch Black Simon. Everyone else I seem to miss, mainly because most streamers are in either kind of like Asia or they're in the US, and that kind of doesn't gel for UK times. So yeah. I'm glad your stream went well though, Keepers. It's always good fun. Rather than the Evo or 80 or Evo 75, I would recommend looking at the Neos because I think they're much better. We have a box. What's next? Hyper Beige. GMK CYL Hyper Beige. Base. Okay. Where have you got this cool looking mouse? This is just an MX Master 3, but we've had it customized with our Twitch sub logo. So this was customized by Leonardo de Mouse. Unfortunately, it's very grubby because it's pink and white and it picks up the dirt really easily. But yeah, it's just a customized MX Master 3, and it has our Twitch subs logo. And if anyone subs, there's even a bigger surprise, because that means you get to join the SPC. I did do it. I mean, I disagree on the AUL as being solid for the price. Like, there's a reason we don't stock the Mango Cubes. Like, I wouldn't be comfortable sending that to someone. Like, one of the things I always ask before we stock a product is, when I put it in a box, am I going to be happy that that customer's going to like it and love it? And there's a lot of products out there that I just don't think that would be true. People are free to disagree with me. But yeah, it's difficult. Plus, this is a stream for a vendor as well. Like this is a stream for a store, so it's remiss of me to advertise products I don't sell. Gonna go like and have a rest. Have a great stream. Thanks, Kiris. I appreciate you. Forgotten how much there was for this set. There's a lot of keycaps here. This might be easier if we flip it onto the lid. Okay, I think this might be the last one that we do, because, as I say, I do need to go and make sure that we're ready for DHL to pick stuff up. Neo and QK, great boards that don't take much for a new person to build. Yeah, I mean, they're as easy as, if you can put Lego together, you can put you can put a keyboard together, a Neo or a QK easily. They're just basically plug and play. It's no different to Lego. I don't know of any Romanian vendors, if I'm honest. I don't think there is any Romanian vendors, just the lazy guy. But there is a lot of vendors in Europe that will ship to Romania for no additional cost. You'll just pay your taxes at checkout. So yeah, maybe we do one more. Let's because I do have MTU 800 that I want to get on board as well soon. I don't know, like the Neo Core stuff. Do you know? It's like comes with keycaps, comes with switches pre-installed, Hall effect, 120 quid. I think they're great. Mango keeps. Can I ask you why you're unboxing keycap sets? These are all keycap sets for my personal collection. So these are all keycap sets that I own personally and aren't owned by the store. And that means they go into my collection of keycaps over here, which you can see, especially if I pan around the camera. Let me load up the controller for that. So I have a few hundred different GMK and SA keycap sets and things like that. And if I pan the camera around, is it this way? You can see that that's how they're all stored. It's a little bit dark in the rest of the room because it's getting dark now outside, but that's where they're all stored. There's hundreds of them. There's 2 rows front and back, and that's where they all go. So yeah, all my keycap sets that I have in my personal collection go on there, and then when we pick them up to put them on a keyboard during a stream, I can just grab a series of tubs and I'm ready and good to go. So that's as simple as that. Maybe get it on a board before mixing all the caps in a tub. No, because like I need to store them all in the same way for my head. So yeah, I want them to be all like in the same post. Neo stuff is close to regular retail cost if you bought a Razer, etc. Yeah. But yeah, that's why I'm unboxing them, because I like to have everything, you know, in my collection in the same kind of storage solution. Assume something more expensive is more quality. Yeah, usually. And for this we've got base and module A and module B. Empty new scratches? Not really. You realise, VRugDush, that before they go in these trays, GMK has them in big bags of 1,000 of each keycap, right? You realise that's how they are before they're packed into the boxes. And they will spend up to a couple of months like that. So putting them in the box is absolutely fine, I think. I don't think it's any issue whatsoever. And I like to have things documented nice, and I like to do this activity as something nice to just do and share with you guys as well. Jay, would you let me have the GMK Trialis, the potato made one from one of those sets? I have one box without trails. Trails? Trellis? Do you just mean the white bit that goes inside? We have hundreds of keycap sets in stock. Just the lazy guy. We have more keycap sets than I know what to do with. So if you go onto our website and you click on the home page and you come down here, you click on keycaps, you will see that we have pages and pages and pages and pages of keycaps. You can filter them by the type of keycap, the profile. These are all of the different shapes of keycaps we have in stock. And as long as you select the in-stock ones, they're ready to ship. You can select language support if you need different languages. You can select legend types, whether you want double shot, die stub, UV print. The material you want, whether you want ABS, PBT, aluminium, polycarbonate, or a mixed set of keycaps. And you can just scroll through all of them and pick. Like, for example, Glitch. This is one of the sets that I put into one of these tubs earlier on. This is the one with the cool drop shadow on it. They're available in stock, and yeah, you just add them to cart. So yeah, we have hundreds of sets in stock, page after page after page. So yeah, definitely check them out. The potato tray. Yeah, okay, I can send you a potato tray, Rue. Yeah. If you mean why are you not hiding? There we go. If you mean this bit. So the stuff behind me, Duodod, here is not in stock. It's my personal collection, right? That's the difference. Yeah, I will save you this tray, Rue. So if you've ever watched one of my streams, Resident Yapper, what I do is I just tip the keycaps out and I put them on the board and put the keycaps that I don't need back in the tub. So yeah. What a good tactile switch without being lubed. So it depends on what type of tactility you want. If you go onto our website and you click on in stock and then in stock switches, these are the new cherry petal switches. I actually have a bag of them somewhere nearby that we're going to build with on Sunday. These are a really light tactile, very similar to MX Browns with a little bit more pinch to them. These are really, really nice. If you like something that's really tactile and want something that's great to go out of the box, the Cheesecake R2s are really, really good as well. They're super, super tactile, and they were one of the most popular switches we had last year in round one. We sold hundreds of thousands of them. A really, really good switch. If you want a really, really gentle tactile that's super smooth out of the box, these are unbelievably smooth. The Gator Chocolate Smoothies. I have not felt a switch smoother than that out of the box. To be quite honest with you, the latest round of them is unbelievable. And the tactility is really, really light. They're really, really nice too. They sound great as well. So depends on what you're looking for, but those would be my 3 recommendations, I think, from what we've got in stock on the store right now. I hope that helps. So cherry petal switches, cheesecake switches, or Gator on smoothies. I hope that helps. Do you know what? In fact, actually, you say you want hydro, but one of the things that I haven't talked about today on stream because I haven't put the announcement yet up. This is now live in group buy. This is GMK Unobtainium Blue. It's blue. So if you like hydro, this might be for you, and it's got some really cool Gatoron novelties as well. I'm not sure I appreciate all of the Normal Keys ones, but it's a really cool set, and it's in group buy right now. So if you do like hydro and want blue, that's blue for you. That's blue. The other thing that went live today as well, which people might be interested in, is the Nuxros 8+84 TKL. This is super nice. Like, as TKLs go, this is really, really clean. Super, super clean. So yeah, but announcements will go up later on today. Be the last thing I do before I leave the workshop. Do we do all the trays? No. Gatron do such a good with the smoother range of switches. Not surprised the tactile one came out quickly. The earlier ones weren't great. Like, the earlier smoothies weren't great, and we got a lot of samples. And it was only when these ones came out that I agreed to stock them because I wasn't happy with the previous runs. But yeah, they're really good. 6U is a relatively recent request to have it added, Rue, and it's only because there's a little bit of proliferation in EC stuff. Once that EC hype dies down in a year or so, I think you'll see it drop from keycap sets again. Yes, we will be a vendor for Splash, I believe. That's not too far off. I think it's going to be early in the new year, I think. For sound and feel, keycap material, my personal preference is ABS, but a lot of people prefer PBT. It really depends on what you want from a sound and feel perspective. PBT will tend to be a little bit rougher and have more grip feel to it. ABS will tend to be something that shines a little bit quicker, but that depends on how much you're using it, your hands, how greasy your hands are, that kind of stuff, what your natural oils in your hand makeup is like. So yeah, it really depends. The Gateron Type R will be restocking again soon. They are really, really nice and good to use. I do not like the Quins, and the Glorious Holy Pandas I won't touch because of how they treated Brian when they did those. So no, everyone's hands have a natural grease to them, just a lazy guy. So people have like a different pH level to their hands and their skin. So some people will shine keycaps faster than others. It depends on your genetic makeup. It's not like an insult or that people might be eating at their desk or anything, which I'm sure happens. But like for example, I don't shine GMK keycaps. My wife does. You know, just different things. It's amazing how many sets you're a vendor for. The US and EU markets are a lot more split up. Yeah, I mean, there's a reason for that. Is because for a long time we were the only vendor really doing it in the UK, and a lot of other vendors have started up because they saw our success and they wanted to try and emulate that. And at the same time, I think we've proven that we are reliable as a partner from both a vendor perspective, a manufacturing perspective, and a customer perspective. So, yeah. You know, the choice was one thing. After Brexit, it kind of became required to have a UK vendor because no one really knew how to handle Brexit. I think I've overfilled this box, but we'll be fine. So yeah, it was just one of those things. But like, we work really, really hard to keep it that way, and to make sure that we're successful, and to make sure that we're able to offer good value for money to all of our customers and to the entire community where we can. So yeah. We've probably run more group buys than any other company has in keyboards total. Like, even if you take like the big companies like Novel Keys, like if you said how many group buys is Novel Keys right now, it's 350.
Incredible.
We've probably done more. So yeah, I don't know. 800 is stacked kit. It really is. It really is. Right. Okay. It's 2:10. I'm gonna have to go now. I do want to finish this off, but I think we'll have to finish it off on Sunday, because I have done 1, 2, 3, 4. I've done 9 sets and boxed them up. I've still got another 8 or 9 to go, and I just don't have the time to do it. So yeah. So Brian came up with the Holy Panda. And the Glorious stuff was just really negative. He had a meeting with them and they just treated him really negatively about it. And realistically, he should have been paid some royalties for it and didn't get anything. And it's maybe water under the bridge now because it was 4 or 5 years ago. But I was just really unhappy with how Glorious treated them. So yeah. But yeah, it's time for me to head off now and to catch up on in-stock orders and get all the stuff shipped out. I'll be back on Sunday streaming. Come and join us on Discord and Instagram if you want to have a chat. And thank you very much for watching, guys. I appreciate every single one of you taking the time out of your busy days to come and watch me do terrible things with keyboards and tell awful stories. But I really appreciate you watching. So take care. Have a great weekend. I'll see you on Sunday.